Hey guys, so to begin with, I just quickly want to say that this video is not going to be like any other video I normally make, because this one is going to be pretty serious. We have a serious matter to talk about, so yeah. Another quick thing that I just need to say here in the beginning before I start rambling. I'm going to use the term black in this video. I don't know if that's the right term to use, but we live in a world where pretty much everything you say can be turned somehow against you. So I'm going to use the terms white and black because that's the color of our skin. So that's what I'm going to say. And I don't mean anything hateful about it at all. Good. So over the past 2 weeks, my brushing out dreadlocks video have kind of turned viral or gone viral. I think that's fair to say. Because it has been out there on the internet for only 3 weeks, but my video now have 150,000 views or something like that. And never in my life I have experienced as much hateful comments as I've got on that video. I've had dreadlocks for 2 years and I've never experienced anything like this. It's crazy. I get so many hateful messages on that video. And it has taken me ages to try and read through all of the comments that I've got. I think it's about 200 comments, and then delete the hateful ones there is between. I can't believe that we live in a world where there is such thing as white people's thing and then there's black people's thing to do. Let's just take a moment to think about that. If we never ever mixed our cultures or took parts from one another culture, then how would this world be? Okay, I would only be eating the stuff that the Danes invented. Maybe I would live from potatoes. I would never have tasted pizza, or I would never have been drinking Coca-Cola. I would never have listened to hip-hop or jazz music or rock maybe. I would only be listening, eating and living from whatever the Danes would have invented, and that would be it. And that would be the same with your culture. So it would be such a boring and weird world if we never mixed our cultures or took parts from each culture and got inspiration. I know that back in time there was a lot of racism going on against black people, and that's not something I want to go into details with, because it's something that hurts me and it breaks my heart to think of that kind of a past. When I was done watching the 12 Years a Slave movie with my boyfriend, I was so ashamed of being a white person. But I have to remember myself that I didn't live back then, and I wasn't the one to blame, and I am not the one to blame for everything that happened back then. I'm not the one to blame about racism or slavery, even though over these past 2 weeks I've got comments that were kind of saying that. It also breaks my heart to hear that there's black girls that are so ashamed of their own hair and hair texture that they kind of need and feel like they need to look like white girl cautions and the hair that we have, so they have to straighten their hair. I think that's so sad. Also because I think it's weird, because I envy that hair. I think it's so beautiful. Afro-American hair is so amazing. And I don't want to live in a world like that. But it's not something that I take part in retaining. Instead, I have dreadlocks because I think they're beautiful. And that's actually a compliment to those people who think they own this hairstyle. Instead, they take it as some kind of criticism, or I don't know, get really hateful. We all know that if we look back in time, we would see dreadlocks all over the globe. But I know that living in 2015, most people know dreadlocks from black people or from the Rastafari movement. And yes, I see that dreadlocks got its name under the slavery, so that might not be weird how some people think that dreadlocks is a black people's thing and that they own it. But it's a fact that no matter what hair texture you might have, you would end up having dreadlocks if you didn't brush your hair. So it's simply not possible to say that you own a hairstyle or to think that you are in the rights to make others feel bad because they have a hairstyle. You can't own it, and it's like saying that you own air because, I don't know, it's kind of your thing, because it's something that we can all get in a very natural way. I breathe in air. If I don't brush my hair, I will end up having dreadlocks. It's not something that you can say that you own. It's just plain weird and plain. I know that some people hate this example, but I think it's fair to use it. It is like saying that black people shouldn't straighten their hair because that's a white people's thing. But it's like if we kept doing that to everything in this world, you could say, then we could say that to so many things. Like if we go back to something I said before, then it would be like the Chinese saying to us that we shouldn't eat the kind of food they invented because it's their food. Like it's saying that people shouldn't listen to a specific type of music because somebody invented it and then you're not allowed to listen to it. Like it's so bizarre that I can't even it's so weird. Something else is that I can't believe that some people can experience being discriminated and not being accepted for who they are and the choices they make. And then instead of thinking, this is not how I want the world to be, this is not the right way to do it, it's not fair, it's not loving, it's not respecting other people. Instead of trying to stop that horrible way of living and to stop the discriminating of each other, then they just pass it on. I have never in my life experienced as much hateful comments as I've got over the last 1 or 2 weeks, and that would never make me want to pass it on to somebody else and start criticizing them or discriminating them and taking away their freedom to do whatever they want to do. So I just really needed to get out all of these feelings and thoughts and frustration because this has really been tearing me apart over the last few days. I don't know if you can imagine having 150,000 people watching your video and having I don't know how many hateful comments on it. It makes you so insecure and so sad, and I just really felt like this was a video that I needed to make. I needed to get this out of my system and I needed to bring out the discussion to what we should do about this. Also, I just needed to put this in the video because a lot of people say that I can't even use the term dreadlocks to my hair because it's not dreadlocks. So I just wanted to give you the right definition of dreadlocks. So I just want to read it out loud to you guys. Okay? Dreadlocks are matted coils of hair. Most dreadlocks are usually intentionally formed because of the variety of different hair textures. Various methods are used to encourage the formation of locks, such as backcombing. Additionally, leaving long hair to its own devices by not brushing or cutting the hair will encourage it to tangle together as it grows, leading to twisted, matted ropes of hair known as dreadlocks. That is what I've got on my head. That is locks. So I think that answered the comments pretty well. Because I have another different kind of hair texture doesn't mean that what I have on my head is not dreadlocks. So I think now I've said everything that I kind of needed to say and kind of needed to share. And I don't know what to do next. I don't know what we should do about this problem because it really is a problem. I was thinking giving dreadlocks a new term that wasn't giving you associations to slavery or something really bad. And maybe we should just stop hating each other and being so disrespectful to one another. I don't know why anybody want that negative. I don't know why anybody want that negative. I'm not English, sorry. But I don't know why people want to be so negative towards each other and to make others feel so bad, because really when I was going to have dreadlocks, I thought people with dreadlocks were people that were very loving and respectful and just embraced one another. But instead I found out that dreadheads are just like any other kind of people or person. They are just as rude and mean towards each other. But I think it would be so nice if we could start to change that, work on it, do something together. And maybe it would be with a new term. If you have any ideas for a new dreadlock term or name for locks, then please leave them in the comments below. I would love to make a discussion out of this, like talk about it, but I want to do it in the right way. I don't want to hear people throwing meanful things against each other. I want this to be down on earth. And let's talk about this. It's a problem. It's a huge problem. And the very last thing in this video actually is another definition, and this is the definition of racism, because I've seen comments on my channel and it's people saying that racism can't happen against white people. Apparently it's only something you can experience as a black person, which I think is crazy. And I've had some very racistic comments on my video these past 2 weeks. They have been deleted, so there's no reason to like go back and start a fight or anything. They're gone. But I'll just want to read that out to you guys, and then I'm going to end this video. But I really think it would be amazing if we could start talking about this problem and maybe find a new definition. I would love that. The definition of racism: the belief that human races have distinctive characteristics which determine their respective cultures, usually involving the idea that one's own race is superior and has the right to rule or dominate others. 2. Offensive or aggressive behavior to members of another race stemming from such a belief. Or 3. A policy or system of government based on it. So just think about everything that I just said, and please join in a conversation about all of this, because it really needs to have an end, and we really need to find a more appealing future. I hope you understood why I felt like I had to make this video, and yeah, please join in the conversation and the discussion, and thank you for watching.